Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Africa here on Housing TV Africa, your one-stop station for updates in the housing sector. It's good to have you join us on the program this morning and we feel very glad breaking the day with you here on this program. My name is Dorcas Chia, and as you know, I'm not doing this alone. I am with my colleague.
It's good to have you join us again on another insightful episode on Good Morning Africa on your favorite station, Housing TV Africa, where we discuss current issues in the country and beyond our country, Nigeria. I am your lovely host, Confidence Robin.
Confidence, Ruben.
Leave me alone.
I can't get over that name. It's the way you say it, then with the confidence again.
Okay. How are you, Dorcas?
I'm fine. This is actually the month for the Africa International Housing Show.
That's true.
Which is coming up. You know, we just have 3 weeks left, and I'm sure the team, they are gearing up. A lot of activities, preparations
are on their way.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to that event, to experience it.
I can't afford to miss it.
Yes, you know, because I remember the other time the executive director, the founder, said there's even going to be, you know, provisions for those, housing for those in the media sector.
Wow.
So that is the one that is carrying me. That's
the latest development.
well, so we all have to just, you know, prepare our minds to experience that, and just like we've said, you still have the opportunity to reset your life and get the remaining half of the year running for you and do something. So if you are not able to achieve anything from January to June, you still have July to December to do something. So before I get all emotional and start giving us the charge for the day, which I'm not supposed to do, let's just go over to the I Can Make It segment and receive the charge for this morning. And when we come back, we are going to be talking about the tax reform bills that were recently signed by our president. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Good Morning Africa will kickstart very soon.
Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of I Can Make It. And yes, you will make it. Just keep confessing, just keep saying it to yourself, I can make it. It is the champion inside of you that is really speaking. So anywhere you are, continue to tell yourself, I can make it. Whether you are in your house, whether you are in your office, whether you are driving, whether you are in the marketplace, or whether you are in the middle of a meeting and you are on the hot seat and they are asking you some questions that is rattling your brain and you are like, how do I go about it? Just keep telling yourself, I can make it. The more you tell yourself, I can make it, the possibilities that will help you make it in life will begin to emerge. And that is the beauty of life, that once you were challenged, but now you have what it takes and you are no longer challenged. So you will be able to make it. For today's episode, I want us to look at a very interesting topic. I want us to look at building a support network for success in life. Building a support network for success in life. Everyone desires to become successful in life. Success is a ladder. You need a lot of work to get done before you can tell yourself you are a successful person. So most times we need to build up a supportive network system. When you start things with people, they will tell you that this thing cannot work. This thing will fail. So you as a person, you need to begin to see yourself in a different perspective. That this thing I am doing, this thing can work. This thing we are doing, this thing will work. And you begin to tell yourself, I can make it. Then you now begin to encourage the others. Many times when people are telling you, probably you are working as a team, and they are telling you that we can't get results, is because what will help them get results, they are blind to those things. Those things are not yet unveiled to them. So for you, the more you look at that problem, the more you begin to receive inspiration that this is what I can do, this is what I can do. Then you now build a support network. When they are coming with complaints, you come with ideas and you have a meeting, you sit down. Have you considered if we do it this way? Have you considered if we do it this way? Have you considered if we use this material? Have you considered if we use that material? Let's give this a try. Let's give that a try. You are building a support network for you to be able to succeed in life. Now, the thing about success is this: when A is successful, B is also successful if you are working as a team. So if you are in any team, whatever task has been given to you, always know this at the back of your mind, that some members of the team will give 1,000,005 reasons while the task given to them will not succeed. They will always come up with excuses. Now, there is this popular saying in life: there is no excuse for failure. So if you fail in life and you are giving excuses that this is the reason why I'm failing in life, is because you have not given life the kind of right approach that can help you succeed in life. So when you work with people, one of the very important things you need to do with them is to let them see reasons why they have to succeed. When you succeed in that particular task that is being given to that team, every other team will begin to emulate that success, will begin to emulate whatever you are doing, and they also will begin to succeed. This is how organizations, this is how territories and the nation as a whole, this is how we can be able to take this nation through from whatever challenges that we are having right now, and get ourselves to a point that we become, a success, that we are able to generate solutions for our peculiar problems, and we are not necessarily telling ourselves that this problem cannot be solved, this problem cannot receive any headway. No. If you are a member of any team right now, begin to see everything positive that can come out of whatever task that is being given to you, and always tell yourself and tell your team members, there is no excuse for failure. On this assignment, I am not here to fail, I am here to make it, and if we work together as a team, we will make it. If you look throughout the land, there are so many problems, so many organizations, so many teams, so many parastatals, and everybody has been trying to, rack their heads, what can we do, and all of those things. See, I want to encourage you, just continue to brainstorm, just continue to build a support network system. Success is around the corner, and I can assure you, if you are not giving up, if you are not throwing in the towel, and you can look at yourself that we will make it, we can make it. I tell you, as you build a supportive network system to succeed, you will discover that mindsets of all the people working in that team will change. And this is very, very important, because every success in life should be standing on some things should be holding the success. So may every member of your team be able to hold whatever you have labored for over the years, so that the success, when it tilts to one side, will not drop and will not turn to a failure. So I want you to please encourage yourself, continue to encourage yourself, and continue to help the other team members to bring the best out of them, that you can make it, we can make it. And you discover that if you build a support network for you to be able to succeed in the marketplace, if you bring that same strategy into your family, you will discover that you will begin to succeed. Today, many families are growing apart. Father has gone this way, mother has gone this way, children has gone another way, and they keep telling themselves, this family can't get it right, this family cannot make it. You cannot be in that family and watch the family go down the drain. You need to rise up right now and begin to, bring everybody together, begin to inspire them, begin to motivate them, that this family will work, this family will succeed, we will make it in this family. family. You bring in your idea, let me bring in my idea, let the other person bring in the idea. Let us harmonize our views. And you discover that in this process, harmonizing your views, looking at how you can get a better result, looking at how you can make it, you discover that what were challenges for the family in the years past, you will not see those challenges again. And I want every family to please build a support network system. And you will discover that whatever looks like a mountain before you right now will definitely become a plain. It's a mountain is because of where you are standing. If you change the position of where you are right now, you will discover that there is actually no mountain anywhere. So if you have been able to see possibility inside impossibilities, what I will encourage you to do is to also bring the other people to that level. In a situation that the other people are not seeing what you are seeing, you consistently continue to do what you know is right. I can assure you that contribution that is coming from you, there is a way it will affect the results. If you have been getting mediocre results before, that continuous input that you are putting into it will give you an outstanding result, an excellent result, and that will become your testimony from now. So let us continue to build a supportive network system for success, telling ourselves, I can make it. Telling our team members, I can make it. I can assure you, your team will not fail. And by the mercies and grace of God, you will all succeed. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of I Can Make It. So go with this understanding, build your team members, build a supportive network system, and I can assure you at every point in time, you all will continue to succeed because you all will make it. See you in the next episode. Thank you.
Welcome back, esteemed viewers. If you just joined us, you haven't missed much because the show just kick-started. On today's episode on Good Morning Africa, we'll be discussing a vital topic that has to do with tax reform bills. It says the impact of signed tax reform bills on youths and women. But before we introduce our guests in the studio, let's give you a hint topic entails. Tax reform bills can have wide-ranging effects on both individuals and the broader economy. One of the primary goals of such legislation is to simplify the tax code, potentially lowering rates for individuals and businesses. For households, reforms may lead to changes in disposable income due to adjustments in tax brackets, deductions, and credits. For instance, middle-income families might benefit from increased standard deductions, while high-income earners could experience limitations on itemized deductions. Today, we'll be discussing various impacts of the just signed tax reform bills by our President Bola Tinubu. Are these impacts positive, are they negative, or both? And our guests who just joined us in the studio will be shedding light on this impact of the just signed tax reform bills in Nigeria. He goes by the name Ofodu Ifeanyi. He is a development consultant and the executive director of TROF, which is the Raymond Ofodu Foundation. Hello, Raymond.
Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, you're welcome.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Africa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very happy
You're
to
welcome
be
to
here.
the program, sir.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome. So like I said earlier on, we'll be talking about the just signed tax reform bills by our president.
Yes.
Now, for starters, how do tax reform bills affect youth employment? Because the topic is the impact of these tax reform bills on youth and women. So how do tax reform bills, these particular reform bills, affect youth employment opportunities as well as their wages?
Thank you for that. It's a very important question because the current crisis we're having amongst the youth is unemployment.
Of course.
So I think whatever the government is doing should be to ensure that millions, that problem in the society is solved. And when it comes to this particular issue of tax, youth employment is a very vital tool to any national development. When you look at, for example, in other countries, you see that they are thriving because of the environment, the business environment, the corporate environment. So there are two ways to this. When it comes to the SME aspect of it for youth, I believe the tax reform is hitting the nail at the head when it comes to reducing tax for low income earners, reducing tax for small businesses. That is the only way youth can thrive, because you cannot be making, maybe the economy is in recession and you are making little and you get to pay everything you are making on tax. So I think that is an angle to encourage you to start being business minded, get self-employed, be very, very active when it comes to the business angle of it. That is one. The other aspect of it is the corporate life, where you see youths that are in different aspects of job roles, where they are earning less than 500,000 a month, they are earning less than 200,000 a month. Some of them get to pay unnecessary taxes. And now this is telling you that if you are earning below 1.7 million, if you are earning below 1 million, you are not going to be paying tax. So I think these are avenues to keep youths employed, keep them sustained, and keep them moving, to dream better. So I believe this is actually a good move, because I've analyzed the tax reform and checked where youths are particularly affected. And I'm looking at this low income earners aspect of it. Youths are found there majorly. So I think it's a good move. Yes.
Okay. You've already started talking a bit about the tax reforms, and but that was on the side of how it affects the young persons. I want you to throw more light on these particular reforms that have been made, because we saw last week that the president signed a few the new tax reform bill, and a few changes were made in the tax reforms. So what does this changes, these reforms, what does it mean to the average taxpayer right now in the society? Not just the young person themselves, but maybe even those that are not young. Yes. What does it mean for an average, for those wondering, okay, the president, because some people will be thinking, okay, the president has done a tax, they're about to come and terrorize us once again,
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
yes.
Thank you for bringing that up. The term I will use is what it means for the average layman. In a layman term, what are we talking about? So this is literally saying, oh, we're trying to review and retransition what we have been doing to the poor, or what the poor has been experiencing, or what the people has been experiencing. So one of the major things we must note in this tax reform is the harmonization aspect of it. The tax reform centers on harmonization, trying to bring a lot of loopholes, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that. No, the president is looking at it coming into one arm, so that when you know you are paying tax, you are paying tax. Nobody's on your neck. Because when you actually look at the average or layman that is on the street, like the transporters, those ones that have not even visited the four walls of schools, those ones that don't, their own problem is, Oga, why am I paying 20 tax a day? So when this you understand? So when this harmonization comes, that means the pressure on them reduces, and they will feel it. When the pressure actually, they will be like, what's happening? Oh, this man has not come, I've not seen Adamu, I've not seen this person to tax me. Then another aspect of this that is also very important is the part of taxing the low income earners. That is where the layman will also understand, where they are telling you, oh, you are earning low, don't pay anymore, don't pay this, be okay, be fine, grow. When you are up to the bourgeoisies, you can continue to pay. That is also another layman's term, because even the mama that is cooking her pot in her mama put in the street will understand this. When they keep on taxing her, and for a certain they say, mama, how much are you making for a month? You're not even making up to 1 million. Enough, don't pay. Because she's found under the most, let's say 70% of small business owners that run the economy that we see today. So when you also look at the aspect of, there's another aspect that is also very important to Nigerians. When you look at the aspect of the small and medium scale enterprises.
Enterprises,
So now this comes to the people that are already formal. Now, what does this mean to you? There are a lot of clauses in the tax that is even taking a break for those that that are also not generating enough, and even taking a break essentially for the VAT. Now let's talk about the VAT. This part is very interesting. The value added tax is something I've seen that the layman is going to benefit from. They are posting VAT on food items. What does that mean? Food will be cheaper, affordable, accessible, achieving food security. They are going to be posting VAT on education. They're going to be posting VAT on housing. So what this means is that for a layman, the prices you see in your shelves or at the store will not be the same again, because the prices should be reduced. The prices for this VAT has been taken off. So as a layman, these are the things that you should look out for. You should see it will be implemented from the 1st of January, I believe, 2026. So from then, everybody should look out for, why is this still like this? Why is this not working? These are the common things that we should take home. Now, we don't even need to start entering into the big companies, big firms that pay big taxes, but these are the ones that will directly affect the ordinary man on the street. Yes.
You talked about VAT being removed from food,
Yeah.
housing. How about the banking sector? Because the VAT in the banking sector is outrageous.
I'm telling you. Yes, and this is why I believe they had a lot of citizens engagement, and I believe there is a way and there is something around this in the tax. Maybe I've not seen it, maybe somebody else has seen it, but I believe when lawyers, experts sit down and want to argue it out, they will see a loophole that, oh, this tax have addressed this problem. But I cannot categorically say now that the banking sector has directly been affected or has been impacted by this. But I believe it is one of the many that is affecting Nigerians, because every transaction is a problem. You get deducted, you sleep in your bed, you receive debit alert instead of credit alert.
This one and all that.
Alright, so in other words, that means this tax reform kind of, eliminated unnecessary taxes.
Yes.
And also reducing the number of taxes Nigerians pay. Okay, it's on a positive note.
Yes,
because,
absolutely. Because it will not be passed. There's one thing that we need to also know. Apart from the politics, the main thing the House of Representatives and the Senate is there for is to check whatever policy or rule or whatever the president is bringing is for the benefit of the ordinary Nigerians. So politics are set aside. That was why the tax was debated back to back.
Yes, the Senate are like kingmakers.
Yes. So
I feel like they are higher than the president.
Yes, they can impeach a president.
Of course they can.
They can impeach a president. So senators are very vital to the economy, to the society.
And I think it's in this administration they are beginning to work effectively compared to the past administration.
Yes, so they are really looking at things critically. And when you check it, you realize that aspect of criticizing this tax shows you that there was an importance to it. It was not just brought to the table and no. And remember, the Northern Governors Forum brought up an argument regarding the VAT, the distribution of it, and what have you. So that was something that was also very debated, and because it's something that the tax is also trying to address, to empower more states that generate this VAT and see how it can be reach the poor. And now, if we actually have everything in order, to be honest with you, things will get well. Because if we have the local government autonomy implemented, we have this tax reform in full gear, the average poor man will find way to get to that level. So it just depends on implementation. These policies are very beautiful on paper, on the televisions, on the radios, but the implementation is the key.
And that's where I'm coming to. And I have two questions. I want you to talk about the implementation, because what you have said here, the packages this reform is coming with, they're a lot and very nice. For someone watching right now, the person will be filled with so much expectation, so much hope and everything. But the thing is, it's one thing for the government to make a statement,
Yeah.
implement a law and everything, but the people down at the grassroots
Don't
that
feel
are
it.
supposed to actualize this implementation, especially when you come to that of the prices of foods and items in the market. Those people in the market, the meeting they have is different from the one we know.
Yes.
So what are the measures that are going to be put in place to make sure that these reforms are actually being implemented?
Yeah.
And also on a different side, we saw that while the president signed these reform bills, one of the changes that was made was he changed the name of Federal Inland Revenue Service to Nigerian Inland Revenue Service. So what is the implication of this change? Because let me just, if I want to use a pidgin English, say last it's still Nigeria. So what's the implication of this change in the name and everything?
Yes, so let me start first with the implementation that you talked about. So this is a multi-sectoral problem. All stakeholders must come on and be on deck. Let me tell you one thing about Nigeria. Every single agency, ministry, department matters.
Of course.
They have a role they are playing that will trickle down to that person that is not seen. You have the federal government, you have the state government, you have the local government. That means in the federal level, we're playing international. In the state level, you are now housing the people that are in this Nigeria. Then in the local is where you now go to that remote areas, those people that are not opportune to be in the capital or to be out there. So that is why every multi-stakeholder in this value chain must be active and effective to see the success of these policies implemented. The federal can make beautiful policies, the Senate, the legislative arm can pass these policies, but if the state doesn't act on it, if the local government doesn't implement on it, if the agencies doesn't implement on it, then nothing happens. So if these tax reforms are not effected by those responsible for effecting it, and they keep going through the corners to keep putting burden on people, then that means there's still a problem. Because even if this tax reform is meant to affect the people at the LGA, and the LGA chairman or the LGA focal point on tax is not implementing it, then there is still a big problem. And then another part of this implementation is that CSOs, the civil society organizations, they need to come on. They need to be more effective, more vocal, more active, because they are the ones to say, oh, see, it is 1 month now, it is 2 months now, where are we? So we have to keep on hitting the nail at the head, reminding those that need to do their job to please go to your office and do your job. It is quite simple. So it is very important for us to know that once we have a multi-stakeholder engagement on this, implementation is core. Nobody will be left out. No loophole will be found. Once everybody do what they are meant to do at the right time, then we have no problem. Then when it comes to
Change of name.
yes, Nigerian. So now the Federal Inland Revenue, previously known, has a mandate of collecting taxes, generating revenue. Now it has been harmonized. I remember I talked about harmonization. A lot of pocket revenue sections have been harmonized into one. From the information I got, I heard that even customs will now be remitting directly to Nigerian Inland Revenue. So they will be the ones collecting customs. There's a lot of things on it. So it means that instead of having this different sections, different rooms, we have one common house that will gather this, distribute it, and make sure that it is used judiciously. So instead of saying that this one did not remit to, this one did not remit to, one person will be held responsible. So they have been empowered. They have been equipped with a powerful tool to ensure that the treasury revenue of Nigeria is held well, implemented well, and used for better good for Nigerians.
Still talking about the implementation of these policies. Now, if these policies are not implemented, who will Nigerians hold responsible? Is it the president or the stakeholders?
So now, that is why I said it's a multi-stakeholder problem. If these policies are not implemented, let us start from that person closest to you. Your local government chairman.
Okay.
Go and hold him responsible. Ask him what is he doing about this. What is he doing about that? Look for your legislators, your House of Representatives, your senators. These are the people you should hold accountable. They are in the government for a reason. You know, there is something that I found very funny. People keep on calling the president, but he's your landlord that is frustrating you as a tenant. You keep on calling the president, but it's that woman that doesn't want to sell for you. There's a problem.
Yeah.
So let us look at those ones that can change that stuff that will make our life good. Those problems that are holding us back are done by people. So let us start from that is closest to us before we get to the upper echelon. Then when we know that we have solved those tiny pocket problems, then what else are we going to look for?
You know, Dorcas, you said something about market people having a different meeting from
Yeah.
the one.
You don't,
Now,
you
I want
don't
to say
want to know
something
about that.
I want to say something
Their
about
meeting is
that.
different. Because when we talk about the issue of hiking price in the
Yes.
market, you can in 2 hours price they will just have one meeting only.
So I want to ask now, this tax reform bills, does it in any way affect the prices of goods in the market? Like, can we have a one body that regulates the prices of goods?
Yes.
Because I mean, we have it in
You
other
can't be
countries.
changing prices
Yes.
every 10 minutes.
So I think people that should be more effective on this is the Consumer Protection Agency. There's actually an agency that is in charge of pricing, consumer protection, and what have you.
Really?
They are the ones to actually look into this pricing of a problem. And there was a time I saw them shutting down Chinese supermarket in this Abuja for one problem, but I don't know what. I didn't really get the details of the problem, but I think it's around price. So I think that agency has to be empowered more, to be more effective. Why? Because they are the ones to go to the informal market. I call them informal market
Local
because they are
market,
scattered
because
everywhere.
I think that's a major problem.
Yes.
Local market.
Yes,
Local
those local
markets.
markets. So make sure that those things are regulated, especially now that they're removing VAT on food prices and all these things. And you know, one thing again, the argument is Nigeria economy is believed to be tied to oil, which shouldn't be, but we believe yes, it's oil that is driving the economy. What does that mean? It means that fuel determines every other thing. So
And honestly, I feel
yes, so that's the problem the market woman will tell you.
So you're
that,
saying now if the prices of fuel comes down,
yes, they believe
prices of goods in the market
will come down.
I don't believe that because it's Nigerians, we are our problems.
Yes,
Whatever goes up in Nigeria cannot come down.
But we must fight for it to come down. And you know another thing, some will say insecurity. If there's a lot of problems on their lips. Some will say insecurity, that how can I go to the farm, that we're not getting enough. And remember, prices is based on demand and supply.
That's true.
So if you have a lot of surplus supply, the prices come down. If you have less demand, prices go up. So it means that so if you have more demand, prices go up. So it means that if we are not able to produce enough for the market, people will hike their prices, coupled with fuel. They'll say, oh, transporting it from Kano to Enugu is expensive. Transporting it from here to here is expensive. The other problem, another factor we have also discovered is human-induced factor. This one is where they say, oh, how can I buy or pay my rent if I don't increase my product to be able to meet up to that sector? So if this sector is increasing its value, that means you have to increase your own value to be able to meet up to that sector. School fees are increasing, house rents are increasing, transportation is increasing, clothing is increasing. So the woman that used to sell pepper will tell you, no, how can I mold this pepper for 500 naira? And how will I meet up with the demands of other societal needs? Let me mold it for 1,000, 1,500, so that I can be able to match. So these are the current induced problems that we see in the current day economy that we need to address individually to be able to handle that inflation.
Because I mean, we can't continue.
Yes, we
What's
can't.
the way forward?
We can't, my dear.
I feel that one
to be honest,
I feel that one is a discussion on its own. But for now, because I'm really enjoying this conversation, and it has been, let's say a lot of my eyes have opened to a lot of things. But for now, let's just go on a short break, and when we return, we're going to be looking more on this and how the government is expected to generate revenue now that there have been a particular change in tax reforms. Stay tuned. This is still Good Morning Africa on Housing TV Africa. We'll be right back.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Good Morning Africa on Housing TV Africa, and we have been discussing the impact of the renewed tax reform bills on youth and women and the society at large. We've had Mr. Raymond, who has been with us in the studio, and he has opened our eyes to a lot of things, and we've dissected it, and it has been eye-opening and very interesting so far. So back to the issue of revenue generation. We're made to believe that through tax, that's where the government itself is able to generate revenue for the society, the country, and the nation at large. And I like to think now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I like to think now that since there have been a reform, and I would say it's half of the population that is going to be paying tax now. Definitely there's going to be a, I don't want to say shortage, but a kind of change in the amount of revenue deduction, that's the word, the amount of revenue that is going to be made henceforth, looking at if you compare it with that of the past year. So I like to think that it may be a form of reduction, or let's say a reduction. And so right now, how is the government expected to generate more revenue? Because we're not supposed to be generating less. As much as we are trying to make the society good and a very sane place to be in, we still need money. We still need money. So how can they generate more revenue with the whole change? Right?
Thank you. That is very interesting because the very essence of tax is for the country to succeed, for the government to work for the citizens. So collectively, they came together and said, "Oh yeah, pay. Let us work for you. Let us provide the roads, the electricity, the water, the basic things you need as citizens." Like some countries live on tax. Some countries don't have resources like we do. They are just based on tax. Now, for us, I believe this new tax reform will not be aimed at making Nigeria broke, because we have budgets to finance. I think it is aimed at organizing Nigeria more, keeping us in an organized system, because there is a lot of loopholes that have been found that the formal that this current administration has realized under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that we need to fix these loopholes. Like for example, in the tax, I saw that even the Attorney General has been empowered to penalize defaulters, government defaulters that don't remit to the government. So that means everybody will now be checkmate. So if you're not remitting, we'll ask you, why are you not remitting? Why are you not giving money to the government purses? And what betide you, let me tell you, that some of these taxes that they are even collecting at this state or local government or even capital or whatever, some of them don't go to the government. Some of them don't end up in the Federal Inland Revenue purse. Some of them end on the way. So I believe this reform is to structure this in a more formalized system to make sure that there's no loophole, there's no leaking drainage. That means more revenue will come in when it's organized, when it's structured. Everybody will get to be checkmate. Attorney General will be empowered to penalize those that are not paying their taxes. Then that means more revenue. And when you also look at it, it also addresses the state system of taxation, even on the VAT. What that means is that federal can also be able to work with the state to be able to generate more and get more income for the federation as well, because even states will also be empowered. States will be paid from what they're generating based on production and even distribution. So I think the revenue that we're going to be getting from the tax is going to still come up once it is implemented in the way it is planned. Even if half of Nigerians are not going to be paying tax, those low income earners, there are still the big industries that will be paying, that has always been paying. And when you look at even other sectors that we can also be getting revenue, like the customs, like the agricultural sector, you look at the oil, you look at even within. So you see there are a lot of ways to also get our money up. So even if the government says, oh, we're not getting this money in our purse, and people are still paying and they are not organized, and you know, it's just everywhere. Why not organize ourselves and let's take it from there?
Right, let's move to the education sector. Now we have the private sector, we have the public sector. Will these tax reform bills affect both sectors? Because the price of school fees in the private school is obviously different from the public. So
we have private schools that they are paying millions.
Exactly. So will this tax reform affect the both, or just the public sector?
Yes, both, because I believe that government schools are meant to be free. And what you are meant to just pay is for your uniforms and some essentials for your child. So it is both, and mostly on the private sector. Because when you look at the tax reform, they specifically said value added tax will be lifted from education, meaning private schools will not be paying value added tax. Even government schools as well. What that means is that prices are meant to come down. School fees are meant to be affordable for people. That is why I keep on beckoning on the implementation. Just like CSOs that are active on education, they should sit down, analyze the educational aspect of this. Say, oh yeah, once it's 1st of January 2026, let us see any school that will not adhere to this rule. Let us see why prices of school fees will keep being high, and let us know. You cannot say it's tax anymore, because there have been a room for you not to pay value added tax, because some schools will tell you, oh yes, we are paying to the government, so why should we not tax the pupils for it? So that means if they are not taking any money from you as an educational entity, your people should experience that effect. They should also have that ease of paying school fees, of the burden on them to pay. So I believe that as Nigerians, it's for us to be accountable to what we're doing. It's for us to be accountable to the policies. Let us read it. Let us look at the educational clause of it and see how we can ensure that we make it better. Thank you.
Okay, then on looking at the debts, looking at the area of debt, how will this tax reform come to help the area of the country owing debts here and there? What role is it going to play?
Especially with the loan from China.
We're in a lot of debt. A lot of countries are on debt as well. US, all these countries. I think how this tax reform will also link to debt is based on revenue. Because if we generate more revenue, that means we can be able to service our debts. So if we're able to organize the tax reform properly, we get everything in order as planned, and we get the actual revenue we're meant to be getting without any magu at the back, that means our revenue will increase. Then we will be able to start servicing our debts. We'll start having enough to service our debt. So I think that is the linkage.
So do you think these tax bill reforms needs to be, we need to create more awareness, because I'm sure so many people don't know about this. So do you think we should create more awareness so that everybody can know what to do?
Apart from this one here on the media, but what other one like in the area?
Yes, that is very important, because as this tax reform is on, the layman, like we talked about, if he doesn't know about it or she doesn't know about it, they will keep on taxing her, and she'll be paying, and she'll be duped. So she needs to be aware in her local language that this has been done, so that you should gear up. No more paying this and that. If you have been paying 20 taxes a day, you're not going to be paying it anymore. And even I believe agencies like Pebec, with the current DG that is very active, will also pick this on disseminating this tax reform around multinationals, among regionals, among state, local governments, so that Pebec can make sure that every business is aware of their rights, is enabled for a good business environment. So we need to beckon on awareness. We need to beckon on public system awarenesses, local languages, door to door, man to man, person to person, whatever means it is for you to communicate to those that are not connected. Because those that are connected are the ones that might have this information. And when we talk about connected, we're looking at those that have access to electricity, have access to television, have access to phone. There are some that don't have this. So these are the ones that we should beckon on. Let them be aware of what is happening. So every informal and formal media channels should be utilized. And I believe media is a very powerful tool to the success of this project. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And one last question before we let you go. Let's come to government appointees. I want to ask, will these tax reforms be applicable to them also? These bills, will they be applicable? You know, because they said those that, you know, those that are not up to 1 million won't pay, but those 1 million more, you know.
So it depends on what your salary is.
Okay.
Yes, because I don't think, if you check it actually, even the salary of your minister, to be honest with you, I don't think it's that much.
Really?
Yes, honestly. So you see, some of these government appointees are also still at low income earners.
Okay, but are they actually, you know, records?
Yes.
Or because we are looking right now to make sure that, okay, the low income earner and those, because everybody right now will say they are
low income earners, yes.
Do we have a database?
Yes, so this
does
is
the tax
yes.
office have a database of people, you know?
They should.
And at least even if it's 80% of the population.
That is why an organized system works. That is how it works.
And
it is a normal thing in the Western world. You cannot tell me that you don't have that database. You have the banks to work with you. You have the NIN to work with you. You have the BVN to work with you. You have a lot of these digital things that every Nigerian is on to now that will tell you what this person is doing, how much this person is getting a month, how much, where this person is working, how much that organization is worth. So there are structures on ground to get us information on this. All the tax unit needs is to coordinate themselves, be organized, be digital, use AI, use digital tools, harmonize Nigerian data, have a system that can tell you this number of people are low income earners. This is where they are. They are either in the informal system, or they are students, or they are unemployed, or they are this and that. Then these are the middle income earners. They are working in this and that. Then these are the high income earners. They are this and that. And even high income earners need to say, oh, this is where the money came from. Because as an high income earner, the source must say, where is your money from? So it's either you're a big businessman, or you own estates, or you did the right investments. So there are lots of ways to get to that height. So I believe that once the system organizes itself, there are already avenues to get those information. It shouldn't be so hard for them to find it. Once you get the NIN, get the BVN, get the institutions, the employment, labor institutions, you can be able to have this. It's a pick up.
With the help of AI.
Yes.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yes. True. And right now, I'm sure with these new reforms that have been made right now, those particular businesses or business owners that don't like to put signboard outside because of local government, I think now they will put the signboard.
Yes, because they know that nobody is going to bother them. So whatever they are going to pay, they will pay it and rest. So I think it's something that is very good. So all agencies should put their hands on deck on this, and I believe PEBEC is also trying and working on this. The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council. The DG, Princess Zara, is she's currently on her state tour, trying to make sure that she engages with stakeholders, with state governments on these important sectors that are very, very important to the economy. So I believe with this, we'll be able to achieve a very, very enabling environment for everyone.
You know, we only talked about the impacts of the tax reform bills on youth. How about the women?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
because women, I like someone like me that worked with the former minister of women affairs. I worked with women and women businesses, and I must tell you, women are making up to 70% or if not more than of the businesses, small, medium scale businesses. And when you look at it, they are even the most people that pay tax out, that the people that will be impacted. When it comes to food, they are the ones around food. When it comes to health, they are the ones you see around health. So I think it's going to be a very big impact on women, because women demography is something that is quite vital to Nigeria. It's two gender, by the way, male and female. So if you don't talk about women, then there's no word. So I think women are very important to the conversation. They should be the ones to pass this information to their fellow women that are not informed. They should read more about it, Google it, get a document, know more about it, know how you can be affected by it. Because as an individual, you need to know how this affects me. So even as a man, as a woman, it is your business. So as women that are in the informal sector that are largely affected by these decisions, they should be more concerned. So I think it's for everyone.
All right. Thank you so much for the Fanny. It was really nice having you on the show. I mean, it was an insightful and impactful one. Thank you so much. All right, viewers, this is where we end today's episode on Good Morning Africa. The just signed tax reform bill is on a positive note. For those of you having a misunderstanding if it's negative, no, it's on a positive note. But let's just hope that this policy, because it is one thing for you to draft policies and it's another thing for it to be implemented. So let's just hope by the 1st of January 2026, these policies will be fully implemented in Nigeria. Many thanks for joining us on today's episode. I am Confidence Robin.
Yes, and just like she have said, it is here to bring a positive change, and it behoves on all of us to sensitize everyone. Let's not wait for the government, for the agencies to go out there and sensitize people. You on your own, tell that mama that is selling akara there that mama, now waiting don't happen with this, so that we are not scammed and these laws are being implemented. So thank you for watching Good Morning Africa on Housing TV Africa. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms, and you can download the Housing TV app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. I remain Dorcas Chia. Have a lovely day and keep watching Housing TV Africa. Bye for now.